Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we try to figure out if a company is really laundry or just spinning its wheels. Today we are diving into Alliance Laundry Holdings Inc. and their recent IPO filing. This is how a company officially starts trading on the stock market, a giant step that can either lead to massive growth or some serious growing pains. Stick around to see what this IPO means and if it's a clean wash or a dirty stain. So basically this whole filing is about Alliance Laundry Holdings Incorporated having its initial public offering, or IPO. Think of an IPO as a company selling shares of itself to the public for the very first time. It is a huge deal for them and for investors. On the 8th of October 2025, Alliance Laundry Holdings priced its initial public offering at $22 per S-share. That is the price at which the first shares were sold to the public. Imagine a big sale where the company sets the initial price tag for everyone to grab a piece of ownership. To make this IPO happen, they entered into an underwriting agreement with BofA Securities and JP Morgan. These are the big investment banks that help companies sell their shares to investors. They basically act as middlemen to make sure everything runs smoothly and to help sell all those shares. In total, the company sold a little over 24 million shares, and a significant chunk from a selling stockholder, around 13 million shares. This is how they raised a lot of money for the company. And what are they doing with all that newfound cash? They are using about $495.7 million to pay off debt. That's a huge chunk of change dedicated to cleaning up their balance sheet. It tells us they might have been carrying a lot of debt before this, and now they are making a strong move to reduce that burden. Now let's talk about the people in charge. In connection with the IPO, the company entered into agreements with its directors and top executives. These are basically promises from the company to protect them from certain lawsuits or liabilities that might come up because of their roles. It's a standard practice to ensure these leaders feel secure in their positions, especially during a big transition like an IPO. Speaking of leadership, Michael D. Scoob, the Chief Executive Officer, got his employment agreement updated. This is also pretty common during an IPO to solidify his role and compensation structure with the newly public company. It shows continuity at the top, which investors often like to see. They also set up two important plans for their employees. The first is the 2025 Omnibus Incentive Compensation Plan, which is a mouthful, but essentially it is a way to give employees stock options or other equity awards that tie their success to the company's performance. The second is the 2025 Employee Street OC Purchase Plan, which allows employees to buy the company S stock usually at a discount. These plans are great for motivating employees and aligning their interests with those of the shareholders. This filing also touches on some foundational documents, the company S charter and bylaws, which are like the company S constitution and rules. These became effective on the 8th of October 2025, which is the same day they priced the IPO. It's essential to have these legal documents in order before going public. And finally, on the 10th of October 2025, the company officially announced that the IPO had closed. This marks the moment they are truly a public company trading on an exchange and available for everyone to invest in. So what's the story here? Alliance Laundry Holdings has successfully navigated its IPO, raising almost $500 million primarily to pay down debt. They've also put in place key agreements with leadership and established employee incentive programs. This looks like a company that is getting its house in order before hitting the public markets. It suggests a strategic move to strengthen its financial position and prepare for future growth. Looking at the big picture, this IPO is a significant step for Alliance Laundry Holdings. By repaying debt, they are reducing financial risk and improving their flexibility. The establishment of incentive plans shows a commitment to their employees and their long-term vision. The company seems to be setting itself up for a solid future as a publicly traded entity. Its direction appears to be one of financial strengthening and strategic alignment. The main opportunity here is the capital infusion, which allows for debt leveraging and potentially future investments. A subtle risk is that relying heavily on debt repayment might imply past financial strain. However, this is a very common and often positive step post-IPO. The overall conclusion is that this IPO seems well managed and strategically sound. Alright, that is our breakdown of Alliance Laundry Holdings Inc. S IPO filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company S future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.